Yes, that's correct. Actually, you hit the nail on the head. 2023 was not a very good year for IPO market, basically because what you mentioned, the interest rate was peaking, and the geopolitical tension, and also for certain mega deal, the aftermarket performance was not up to the expectation of the investors. But going into 2024, we are expecting it to do a little bit better than 2023. But that still depends on a lot of things. But from my perspective, the economy of most of the country, they are stabilizing or even actually growing. And also, like you mentioned, the Fed might consider to actually cut interest rate, but at this point of time, no one has a crystal ball of what the Fed is going to do. Rumors are they are going to cut it probably towards the end of the first quarter, but there is no conclusive evidence for that. But in a general senses, we do think all the ingredients are there. So we have the market expectation of lower interest rate. We have economic condition which is stabilizing. Geopolitical tension is actually easing. It is actually up to the stakeholders, for example, the IPO candidate or the IPO investor, to actually put these ingredients together to just create a sustainable market sentiment. From a global perspective, we do expect the IPO is going to gradually pick up, probably more noticeable in the second half of 2024. Just like you mentioned, if we look at the US, 2023, US was doing okay, not too great, but still okay compared to the other regions, where from an AP perspective, for example, China is actually implementing what we call periodic tightening approach in vetting those IPO, which caused the IPO activity to slow down in view to actually to boost up the liquidity of the China stock market. So we still need to give it some time to see whether the Asia Pacific powerhouses, China and Hong Kong, is going to come back.
Yeah, George, I mean, if we do have this cutting of interest rates in this market, possibly, I mean, does that give investors the sense then that the IPO market is still ripe in your traditional markets, or does that move things along to perhaps, you know, the other markets that perhaps aren't as big or aren't the powerhouses then?
I would think if eventually the interest cut is materialized, I think it would benefit, first of all, to the US IPOs, and then to the traditional powerhouses of Hong Kong. China is a unique situation. It depends on the IPO policy when it will be loosened up. From my prediction, it's not going to be in 2024. It could be at the late 2024 or even going further into the 2025.